Have you ever wondered why some people only seem to come around when you've decided to move on? Is it that they only crave what they can't have? Is it true love or just selfish possessiveness? The truth is, when you choose to move forward and focus on yourself, you inadvertently create a void that makes them realize your absence. By valuing and developing yourself, you force them to confront the reality that they didn't appreciate what they had. And then, the fear of loss makes them desire you more than ever. Don't chase anyone. Let them realize they need you. When you stop pursuing, you give them the opportunity to recognize your worth. Moreover, as you continuously improve yourself, you shine brighter and become more attractive, making it impossible for them to look away. Your silence becomes an alluring invitation, awakening their desire and regret. If you're ready to tap into this hidden power, join me on a journey to uncover 6 undeniable truths that decode why they only want you when you no longer want them. This isn't just about changing the game, it's about taking control of your own life. But first, affirm your self-worth by leaving a comment saying, "I am magnetic." This isn't just a statement, it's a powerful declaration, a commitment to mastering these secrets and becoming the best version of yourself. Leave a lasting impression that they can't forget. Are you ready to shine? So let's explore the first point on our list, the power of absence. You might think, really, just being absent can make someone want you more? The answer is a resounding yes. Let's delve deeper to understand why this seemingly simple concept holds so much power. In love, absence is not just about physically not being there. It's a subtle strategy to create distance and increase your value in the eyes of the other person. When you are absent, your silence becomes a form of communication, and the distance you create becomes a space for the other person to contemplate your worth. Just as in art, where the blank spaces between paintings or lines of text enhance the overall meaning, absence in love creates a similar effect, making your presence more special and important. For example, imagine a new relationship just beginning. At first, both partners frequently text, call, and spend time together. This constant presence may be exciting initially, but over time it can become monotonous and lose its original charm. That's when a little absence can work magic. When one of them reduces the frequency of contact, the other starts to feel a sense of lack, begins to wonder why, and even starts to miss them. This absence, even if brief, is enough to create mystery and stimulate feelings of curiosity and desire. One begins to think, what are they busy with? Do they miss me? These questions create an emotional loop, enhancing attraction and the desire to reconnect. Another example from real life is in a long-term relationship. When two people have been together for a long time, it's easy for boredom and a lack of excitement to set in. At this point, absence can act as a revitalizing remedy. Think of a couple who has been living together for many years. Every day they wake up together, have breakfast together, go to work, and then return home in the evening. When they spend too much time together, the presence of the other becomes a given, no longer something precious. But imagine one of them decides to go on a one-week trip with friends or spend time on a personal activity like taking a new course or joining a club. When they return, they bring not only new experiences but also a sense of freshness and mystery into the relationship. The other partner starts to realize that they actually miss their presence, miss the little things they used to do together, and feel that they can no longer take their partner's presence for granted. A famous historical example is the love story of Napoleon Bonaparte and Josephine. When Napoleon had to leave Josephine to lead his army into battle, his absence made Josephine realize the strength of her love for him. Before, when they were close, Josephine was somewhat indifferent and not very attentive to Napoleon, but when he was away, that distance made her recognize her true feelings. The separation made their letters to each other fuller, more emotional, and every reunion became a cherished moment filled with deep emotions and appreciation. The value of scarcity is the second reason why, when you step back, they want to pursue you. Human psychology is truly peculiar. We only tend to value what is scarce, and the same holds true in love. This means that if you are always present, always available, and always easy to reach, you will gradually lose the initial attraction. To keep love full of desire and excitement, you need to know how to create a little distance, when to step back, and how to exercise restraint. Scarcity does not mean you have to play games or intentionally make the other person feel neglected. It simply involves knowing how to maintain a balance between giving and holding back. A good illustration of this is in a situation where you and your partner share a common interest, such as cooking. Instead of meeting every weekend to cook dinner together, try letting one person cook their favorite dish alone and then invite the other over for a surprise dinner on a special occasion. This way, the other person will feel more excited because spending time with you is not always easily attainable. The scarcity here lies in the uncertainty of the timing and manner of your interactions, which heightens anticipation. Consider another situation: a couple working in the same company. They see each other every day, attend the same meetings, and have lunch together. Over time, this constant presence can lead to boredom and a lack of excitement. To create scarcity, one of them might decide to change their working environment for one day a week, such as working from home or at a cafe. When they are no longer together all day, they will have more stories to share when they meet again at the end of the day. The scarcity here is the time apart, allowing anticipation and appreciation for every moment spent together. Sometimes you don't need to say too much or be present all the time. A little distance, a bit of silence, and some patience can create a love that is much stronger and deeper. It is precisely this rarity and unpredictability that makes the other person cherish and desire you more. Next, in the complex world of human relationships, the allure of independence is one of the most fascinating and important aspects. It represents a subtle yet powerful turning point that helps us understand why people sometimes suddenly desire us more when we start focusing on ourselves instead of them. Imagine this situation. You are always the one initiating contact, always present, and always ready to spend time with them. They have become accustomed to you always being there, perhaps even taking your constant presence for granted or undervaluing it. But then, something changes. You decide to stop devoting all your time and attention to them and start focusing on yourself, personal growth, nurturing your happiness, and pursuing your own goals. You stop waiting for their calls, stop rearranging your life to fit theirs, and instead, you begin living for yourself. This brings about a powerful shift. Independence suddenly becomes incredibly attractive. It's like a switch flips in their mind. Suddenly they see you shining on your own, without needing their attention or validation. This change hits them like a ton of bricks. You are no longer the one who is always there, always waiting, and always needing them. Instead, you become someone who is building their own life, growing, and shining in your own right. And here is the highlight. When you no longer need them to feel complete, they suddenly want to have you. Independence makes you stand out and appear more appealing. It shows that you do not depend on others for your happiness, that you can stand firm and grow on your own. This creates a natural and irresistible attraction. It is the confidence and decisiveness, the knowledge of your own worth, and the fearlessness to live true to yourself that makes them realize your value and want to regain your attention and affection. Therefore, the allure of independence comes not only from knowing how to live for yourself, but also from showing that you deserve a fulfilling, vibrant life, regardless of whether they are a part of it or not. That is why sometimes when you no longer want them, they suddenly want you. Fourth, you might have a question in your mind. Why do they only realize your value when you no longer want them, right? It's a familiar question that many of us have encountered. You have spent time, effort, and energy on someone only for them to take your presence for granted. But then, something changes. You decide it's time to stop. You stop pursuing, stop caring, and start focusing on yourself. Suddenly, they are awakened by the sharp awareness of your value and begin to crave your attention. But why is that? Why do they only recognize your worth when you no longer want them? The answer lies in the deep psychological and emotional dynamics of human behavior. When you are always available, always giving, people easily fall into the trap of taking you for granted. They become accustomed to your presence, attention, and care. This is part of human nature. We often don't appreciate what we get too easily. When something is always there, it becomes a normal part of life, and we gradually forget its true value. However, the moment you decide to withdraw, reclaim your energy, and focus it inward, everything starts to change. This is a powerful shift, forcing them to face the reality of your absence. Suddenly, what was once overlooked becomes clear and significant. For example, think about your favorite chair that you sit in every day. You sit there comfortably without thinking about it, but if one day that chair disappears, you will feel the inconvenience and its absence. Similarly, when you decide to no longer be there, the reliable presence, the emotional support, and perhaps the love you brought begin to stand out clearly and sharply in their mind. Let's imagine a more specific situation. You have a close friend who you always listen to and are ready to help whenever they face difficulties. You are always there, even when you have to sacrifice your own time and interest. But then you realize that this relationship is not balanced. You are always giving without receiving much in return. Finally, you decide that enough is enough. You no longer take the initiative to contact them, no longer run to help them whenever they need. Instead, you spend time developing yourself, pursuing your passions and your own happiness. What happens next? That friend will gradually feel your absence. Suddenly, they have no one to lean on, no one to share with whenever they need advice or help. What they once took for granted now becomes more valuable. This sharp awareness will wake them up from their previous indifference and make them long to have you back in their lives. Fifth, your absence in a relationship can create an intense and irresistible curiosity from the other person. When you are always present and ready to meet their every need, they become so accustomed to your presence that they start to take it for granted. However, when you suddenly change, decide to step back, and focus on your own life and personal goals, you will notice something interesting happening. Their curiosity begins to surface. They no longer understand you as they once did, and this makes them rethink you more deeply. Think about this. We are often drawn to what is unknown, what is beyond our reach, or what is no longer easily accessible. When you suddenly disappear from their sight, they may start to wonder, what are you doing? What are you thinking? Why are you no longer responding to their attention as before? This change triggers a small shock in their mind, a feeling of losing control. Humans tend to want to understand and control what is happening around them. When you stop appearing, stop communicating, they feel as if an important piece of their life is missing. This not only confuses them, but also makes them crave to understand and decode you all over again. Take, for example, a friend who has always been proactive in organizing get-togethers and is usually the first to send a message to check in. Then, one day, you decide to stop. You are no longer the one initiating meetings or daily conversations. Instead, you spend time exploring new hobbies like learning an art form, participating in social activities you've never tried before, or simply enjoying your private time. At first, they may not notice, but as your silence persists, they will start to feel your absence like a big void. They will begin to wonder why you are no longer as enthusiastic as before, whether something is happening, or if they have done something wrong. Your absence is not just about creating a gap, but also an opportunity for them to start imagining. This can lead to a range of emotions, from insecurity and confusion to a strong desire to rediscover you in a new way. Similar to a mystery novel, your silence is like blank pages waiting to be filled with their curiosity. They will try to connect the dots, attempting to read you like an unfinished story. Furthermore, your absence highlights the qualities and values they may have unintentionally overlooked before. When you step back and focus on self-growth, they will begin to remember the little things they didn't pay much attention to before, the way you smile, how you listen, or the times you supported them during difficult moments. Your absence makes these things clearer, like a painting gradually emerging after the dust has been wiped away. Finally, when you suddenly become absent, it can stimulate the ego and desire for conquest in the other person. In love, everyone wants to feel special and important to the one they care about. Your unexpected absence can create a significant void in their heart, making them feel hurt and confused. They will start to wonder why you are no longer paying attention to them as you used to, and the fear of losing something valuable will quickly creep into their mind. This activates their instincts of defense and possessiveness, making them want to reclaim what they believe is theirs. A typical example is when you and your partner are in a relationship where your attention and care are always directed towards them. They are used to you constantly texting, checking in, and being there whenever they need you. But suddenly you stop texting, stop calling, and even stop showing up for activities you once enjoyed together. This not only makes them feel lost, but also makes them suspect that someone else has captured your attention. They will wonder, has she met someone else? Why aren't they paying attention to me like before? This sudden absence becomes a challenge to their ego. They begin to feel a sense of loss and anxiety that the person they care about is drifting away, possibly attracted to someone else. This is when their instinct for conquest and possession is strongly triggered. They are likely to act to regain your attention and affection, trying everything to bring you back to how things were. They might start texting you more, suggesting to meet up more often, or even showing jealousy if they see you interacting with others. A real-life example could be a man who is accustomed to his girlfriend always being attentive and caring, suddenly feeling that she has become distant, quieter, and less attentive. He feels hurt and worried that she might have been captivated by someone else. His ego will be stirred, leading him to think that he needs to do something to win back her love and attention. He might start doing special things to attract her, such as giving gifts, taking her out, or even changing himself to become more appealing in her eyes. In these cases, your sudden absence not only creates an emotional void, but also makes the other person realize that they might be losing something valuable. They feel hurt when they no longer receive your attention as before, and will do everything they can to win you back. The person they consider belongs to them. This, in turn, increases your appeal in their eyes and helps maintain desire and longing in the relationship. And there you have it, 6 undeniable proofs that they often only want you when you no longer want them. It's a fascinating dynamic that reveals so much about human nature and relationships. Remember, your value doesn't diminish based on someone else's perception. When you choose to focus on yourself, to grow, to shine in your own light, it changes everything. So the next time you find yourself questioning why they suddenly want you back, know that it's not about them. It's about the incredible power of self-worth and independence. Keep nurturing yourself. Stay true to who you are, and the right people will come to you, not because they need you, but because they genuinely appreciate who you are. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights on love, relationships, and personal growth. And remember, you are always worth it. See you in the next video.